Hello guys, what's going on?
Hi guys.
Right, so I'm sure by the title of this video, you guys already know what the video is about anyways. It's about 5 positives
And 5 negatives
of being married young.
Yeah.
Right, so just a little breakdown to you guys. Susan and I, we were engaged by the age of 24.
Yes.
And we got married at the age of 25.
Yeah, so that can be considered as young.
Yeah.
It's not too young. It's probably,
Yeah.
An okay kind of age, but
Yeah.
I think out there it might be considered a bit
Exactly.
young.
The society nowadays, they think that it's very young. But nonetheless, we're going to talk about it. So we're going to dive straight in, okay? So we're going to talk about the negatives first, all right?
Okay. Yeah.
We'll talk about the negative first. We want to end on a positive note. Number 1 is immaturity. If you're getting married young, chances are you're still young, so you're relatively immature.
You might be immature. Just because you're young doesn't necessarily mean you're immature.
I know, I'm with you. But in some cases, being young, is highly associated with being immature sometimes.
Yeah.
And, that could essentially open you to a lot of unnecessary arguments and problems within the marriage due to inexperience.
Yeah,
and
I think also because you're young and immature, I think you're more likely to make some poor decisions.
Indeed.
So you might make decisions that you think, they're okay, or
Yeah.
maybe not consider your partner when you make that decision, and therefore it causes problems within the marriage.
Yeah.
And, and it just, carries on that
Spirals
way.
out of control.
So yeah, I think that can also be an issue.
Yeah.
So number 2 would be you have less freedom. So that comes with marriage. And now that you're 2 becoming 1,
Yeah.
you have to consider the person you're married with before you go ahead and say, oh, I'm going out with the lads. Oh,
So guys, hey, I mean, you've got to tune down on the poker nights. You've got to tune down on the paintballing, traveling abroad with the mandems, like all of those things. They're not saying you can't do it.
Yeah.
Like you can do it, but it won't be like, oh, boom, I've got.
Whenever you want to do it, just
Exactly.
do it. Like you have to sort of get your partner's consent first, and also find out whether like that time that you're going to be spent doing that, maybe you have other plans.
Exactly.
Maybe there are other things to be done. So
And with women, like, no offense, with women, they always have a plan. The moment you have a plan, so you can say, right, babes, you know what? I'm thinking of going out like 2 Sundays. Oh no, but I wanted to go out. I'm like, why are you been serious? So guys, like, just bear that in mind. Number 3 would be being less financially established. So being young, chances are you haven't had the time to build a career. So therefore, you're not really as established. In some cases, or in many cases, you're not really as financially established as you would like to be. And that could potentially put a strain on yourself. Being less able to perhaps maybe travel abroad with your wife or your husband. Being less in a position to actually afford what you like. So you're going to have to like budget a whole lot more tight, live on a tighter budget. Because once again, you are less financially, established. You can't really go ahead and just buy a house if you want to. You would have to rent for a period of time.
or save quite a lot.
Exactly.
You can't just, just go save, for example, like you said, the holidays.
Yeah.
Or maybe the nice shoes, expensive bags and things like that. So you have to budget quite a lot when you're married. Whereas if you were, say, single or dating, you could possibly make those decisions a lot easier.
Yeah.
And you could possibly just say, for example, if you want to, when you get your paycheck, you can just say, okay, you know what, this month I'm going to buy this. However, when you are married, you know that you need to pay bills, you know that you need to, buy food, you know that you need to do various things.
Okay, so number 4 would be people are just so annoying. People would be so like, when people come up to you like, how old are you? Oh, you're 25. Oh, you're 22 and you're married. It's so annoying. People will just be around you thinking you've made the biggest mistake of your life.
I also feel like that's not just when you're married. I think that's before you get married mainly. When for example, if you get engaged at 21 or 20 or whatever, and they're like, oh, you're engaged, and then, oh, when's the wedding? It's, quite soon. And like, oh, so you're actually engaged to be married, not just engaged for long periods of time, but you're actually going to be married. So they can be like, oh, I think you're too young to be making that step. Especially quite a lot of like families or older generations, they feel like you need to live life a little bit more before you make such a decision, because you're too young for that decision.
They think the moment you get married young, you just die. Because they go on to say, you need to live life. You need to live. Like, I'm living life being married. It's not like I get married and boom, I'm dead.
Yeah.
And number 5, which is a negative but could also be a positive as well, would be having kids too early.
I wouldn't say having kids too early.
Early within the marriage or being
Yeah,
quite
if you
young.
make the decision to have your kids at a young age because you've been married at a young age, then yeah, it could be a negative because
it could slow you down.
Yeah, it could slow you down. But I think that one can be twisted a little bit.
That's why I said this could be a positive as well.
No, not in that sense. Because obviously, if you're married, and you know you don't want to have children, then don't have children yet. Like, what's wrong with you? You can control that. However,
no, we're talking about the case of you are young and you have a child, so that could potentially be a negative as well. So not the people who do not want to have a child, but those who actually want to have a child, being young, being married.
Okay.
Yeah, so it could slow you down. If you're, I mean, of course, like the woman, your wife has to stop work because she needs to go into labour, and it would just bring things down financially. The strain would be on the man. That's once again, because if you're young, chances are, once again, you're not as financially established as you would like to be.
It could also take up a lot of your time.
Exactly.
So whereas other young dating people who may be, going out quite a lot and doing, different little things, you have to probably stay home and look after your children, or, you have to, put them first in a sense before you can say, oh yeah, I can just up and go wherever I want to go. So,
I'm with you. Right, so to the positives now.
Cool.
And so the positive parts, number one.
You get to grow together.
Yes, indeed. So you get to build a career together. You get to build memories together, going away, traveling away.
So I think also, because if you've been married, or if you got married at, your early 20s, then, that's quite a long period. From when you're in your early 20s or maybe late teens, you haven't matured to your maximum. You're still quite young. You still have a lot of finding of yourself to do.
Indeed.
So you and your partner can, go through those experiences and find yourself together.
Of course.
So when you were 21, when we started dating, you've matured a lot since then.
Of course,
at 25 or 26. So
right.
you get to see that progress of your partner.
So positive point number 2 would be,
you get to have kids earlier.
Right, and we did say having kids earlier could be a positive and a negative. And I don't like the word negative because it makes it sound bad. However, right now we're going to focus on the positive. And the positive about having a child early is you actually get to be young with your child. You get to grow with your child. So times when your child's are like perhaps maybe a lot older to do like perhaps teenage stuff or whatever, you're still energetic. Not saying that older people aren't really as energetic or whatever, but come on, let's be real. So you get to spend more time with your child. You get to actually be on the kind of like the same level of thoughts as your child.
So you can sort of relate more to them.
Exactly.
In a sense, because when you had them, you weren't so old. So then growing up, say for example, if they're in their teenage years, you wouldn't be that old to be able to relate to them in a sense.
Yeah. So number 3 would be
maturing quicker. So when you get married, it does mature you quite a lot. You have a lot more responsibilities, new responsibilities that you would never have if you were not married.
Yeah.
For example, if you're living together or you've bought a house, you have a mortgage to pay off and things like that, and you just get to learn different things about someone else and looking after someone else and being there for someone else, and you go through problems, like I said, that you wouldn't necessarily go through if you were dating or single. If your partner lost their job, you have to deal with that. If they, you get to experience a lot of challenges in life and overcome them together. So that matures you quite a lot. Positive
point number 4 is less heartbreak.
Yeah.
And that can relate because, I mean, like, if you're getting married young, chances are you're not really going through a number of partners. Even though there are people out there who do, chances are if you are getting married young, you're not really doing that. You're not like in a relationship for like a 5-year relationship and then boom, you break up.
Yeah.
And a 6-year relationship and then boom, you break up, or 3. Do you know what I mean? It's just like you find your person, you find your partner a whole lot quicker. And also you get to like, it kind of relates to being mature as well, because if anything happens, okay, this is the person I am with. This is my wife. I need to go and I need to save my marriage. I need to work out my marriage. I need to sort this out. If I offend you, I'm sorry. Let's move on. Why? Because I'm married to you. I'm with you forever. You're the one person that I've chose. You're like the person I've chose to spend the rest of my life with, sort of thing. So it's like, it's just...
Basically, you were just quicker to find a person to spend your life with. And
indeed.
Therefore, less heartbreak.
Indeed.
So positive point number 5 is you get to spend more of your lifetime together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know I say this all the time because you can't say, and there is no such thing as having too much time or too little time because you never know how much time you do have. However, in this case, if you happen to die, and I'm so sorry, it's quite harsh, but I mean, the only requirement to die is to be alive. But if you happen to die young, you actually had a head start in life to be happy and to know this person and, you know what I mean? To work things out.
Yeah, and if you don't die young, if you got married at 20, 25, then, and you stay married all throughout, that means you've spent more of your lifetime being married with the person you want to be with.
Indeed.
In comparison to someone who met the love of their life at the age of 35.
Yeah.
So you've had, a 10 years
Head start.
More with the person you want to be with.
Yeah.
So therefore, you spent more of your lifetime together, being happy and creating memories.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, and on that note, guys, I mean, even though you are young, or maybe you're not young and you're not married, there is no rush to being married. You don't have to be married young so that you can go on social media and say, hey, look at my wife. Like, no. Like, take your time with it. Yeah. Get to know whoever you're with. If you happen to be older, just build your memory.
I think an important point to say is, think about it. I would rather get married at the age of 40 and know that I'm with the right person for life than get married at the age of 20 and have to divorce that person later on in life because they were not the right person for me.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff. So,
and bear in mind as well, the younger you are, the more immature you are, and the more chances you do have
of
divorcing and misbehaving and doing stupidness, because there are a lot of silly people out there who are, oh no, it was a mistake because I was immature, and just blame. You get where I'm coming from? So just bear all of these things in mind. However, these are our experiences and our thoughts. And that's pretty much it.
So guys, don't forget to hit like, comment and
subscribe. And also on the subscribe button you will find a little bell which is a notification icon. Press that as well so that when we post up beautiful videos like this, you get a notification instantly from us. So on that note, we have to love you guys and leave you guys. So peace.
Bye.